September 1944, as the 6th year of war in Europe begins, the British Second Army is rolling through Belgium at the history-making speed of nearly 50 miles per day. The soldiers know that time is short and a vital military objective lies ahead. Behind the lines, men of the Belgian White Army are on the alert for ammunition dropped by the Royal Air Force. After 4 years of waiting, they have orders from General Eisenhower to strike now and mop up German pockets left by the main army's swift advance. On September 4th, units of the British 11th Armored Division reached the suburbs of Antwerp. The fight is sharp and short. Organized groups within the city have prepared the way, and the urgently needed docks and rail yards are captured practically undamaged. The fighting men well know that the long water approaches beyond are still in German hands. With the capture of the city of Antwerp, the battle for the port has just begun. Early dawn finds the British Second Army moving in to penetrate the tough canal country beyond Antwerp. In cold earnest, the soldiers realize that the days of their triumphant sweep are over. From here in, war is grim and unrelenting. One canal leads only to another, hazardous and riddled with enemy defenses. Battered by a merciless German rear guard, the troops press forward. Meanwhile, from secret airfields in England, a huge air army is thundering into the sky. Here in momentous flight is a long-planned Allied strategy. 3 waves of more than 2,000 aircraft heading east for Holland. 1 wave is directed to Eindhoven, 1 to Nijmegen, and 1 to Arnhem. Their mission is to get behind the enemy's water defenses, roll up the German right flank, and join the ground armies at the gateway to Germany. Across the skies of Northern Europe, they roar their message of strength and hope. Two and a half air hours from England, 10 miles from Germany, the gliders of the first wave come in to land at Arnhem. Veterans of air action in France, North Africa, and Italy, the men of the 1st Parachute Brigade bail out. Their objective is below them, bridges across the Rhine that lie in the path of the oncoming British Second Army. There is no opposition on the dropping zone at Arnhem. Enemy guns are strangely quiet. Meanwhile, already on Dutch soil, the ground army is racing towards Eindhoven to meet the paratroops of America's 101st Airborne Division. While thundering northwest, the 3rd air wave is on its way to Nijmegen. At Eindhoven, the operation is successful. The town is swiftly liberated and the combined forces roll through, leaving a jubilant townsfolk already posting notices once again, reading, "Long live the Queen." And now on September 19th, combined forces push from Grave to Nijmegen, where American air troops have captured the 1.5 mile long bridge over the Vaal River and are holding it for the oncoming ground forces. Warned by members of the Dutch resistance, British troops remove tons of Nazi-placed dynamite from bridge struts, even as the first units are dashing across. 10 miles north at Arnhem, the 1st British airborne wave is surrounded and holding out against fierce enemy pressure. There is no time to lose. Over Arnhem, Royal Air Force planes drop supplies for the hard-pressed fighters. They are surrounded on 3 sides, with the river behind. Their only means of communication with England is on the public relations radio set. Fighting is savage. The area is laced and crossed by shell and mortar fire, and pockets of enemy troops are everywhere. Relief cannot get through. The 9th day, September the 27th, orders to withdraw reach the survivors. A brief, heroic battle is ended. And now, with fierce courage and savage determination, the British Second Army lashes out to wrest new victory from defeat in an urgent military move to widen the thin Dutch salient. Caught in the crossfires of destruction, human lives recoil in terror from once familiar landscape. And so, after nearly 2 months of fighting, the drive for the approaches to the port of Antwerp is entering its final, bitterest phase. 40 miles inland from the Scheldt, under harassing sniper fire, advanced troops clear opposition over the Wilhelmina Canal, while infantry make a precarious crossing to establish a bridgehead before Tilburg. More than 50,000 Nazis are reported fleeing, as General Dempsey's troops force their way forward to clear the area from Nijmegen to Sertogenbosch. The stage is set for the final assault. October the 3rd, giant bombs released by RAF Lancasters are screaming down to blast the seawall at Westkapelle. Holland's oldest enemy, the North Sea, is boiling through 12 breaches in the dikes to flood the length and breadth of German-held Walcheren Island. Says Radio Orange, the people of Holland will bear the destruction of Walcheren and fight on to the end. Responsibility for the ocean of grief washing over us can be placed at only one door, Berlin. On November 1st, long-range guns go into action across the narrow waters of the Scheldt. At dawn, while dive bombers scream down over enemy gun positions, daring British Royal Marine Commandos speed out to assault Flushing. Through mud and flood and enemy fire, they swarm inland to capture the town and join the battling Canadian First Army on its way through from the east. Meanwhile, from the west, British warships unleash a terrific rocket bombardment on Nazi shoreline batteries, as a second British task force of Marines heads out for Westkapelle. Four out of every 5 landing craft are being destroyed. Losses are as heavy as at Tarawa, greater than at Dieppe. With courage that defies the enemy and the elements, the commandos storm ashore to seize Westkapelle and end a victorious engagement. And that is how the Germans were driven from waterlogged Walcheren Island. That is how the approaches to the port of Antwerp were cleared. On Walcheren, they call it Heartbreak Island. But the people who live here bear on their coat of arms the words, "I struggle and emerge." 82 square miles of fertile soil are gone, the livelihood of 50,000 people. But the people of Walcheren say, "The Lord bade the water rise, and he will make it fall. Our children will live to see these trees bear fruit again." And so a triumphant procession of ships steams into Antwerp harbor unmolested, a lifeline of supply for the armies of the Western Front. Bought and paid for with the blood of courage and the strength of sacrifice, the gateway to Germany today stands open. Another chapter is written in the long history